Right there, YouTubers, how you doing? It's been a little bit since I did a video, and this is probably going to be the final video that I'm going to do in the ATN series. And this video is basically the ATN. I think it's almost a year since I've had it. How have I got on, etc. But before we go there, thank you so much for the subscriptions. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and you've stumbled across this, please make sure that you subscribe. We're 2,000 plus subscribers now, we're doing really well, and as usual the Patreon links are around here if you want to donate down below. But anyway, onto the video, the ATN X Sight. So for those that haven't seen, I'll leave up here, I'll leave the playlist for all of the in-depth videos I've done on the ATN. I've had many comments, many feedback, I've had some haters, I've had some fanboys, but generally the feedback's been pretty good. So I'm not really going to try and go over too many of those points that I've already done in those videos. If you really want to know and drill down deeper, check those videos out and they'll all be in there. But like I said, I've had the ATN X Sight for pretty much near as damn it a year now. I bought it with my own money. I splashed out 750 UK pounds for it, and has it been worthwhile? Has it been good? Has it not? So as usual, no sponsors. I can say what I like, and you know what, I'm going to, just so it can help you guys out there. So what do I think? Well, let's do the pros on it. It looks the biz, come on. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but I tell you what, on a bullpup like this, it looks the biz. You bring one of these out on the range, everyone's going to look at you. If you like your shiny toys and that lot, you'll get everyone looking at you, especially if you get your mobile phone out and start showing the live view and shooting via that on your mobile phone. You get lots of comments and everybody going, oh, I want to have a look at that. Yeah, it's got the looks. To me, I think it looks the dogs, you know what. So I like that. With that, I have found it extremely robust. I've not had any mechanical problems with it. I've had a few software glitches, which I've talked about, but no mechanical problems, no misting, no fogging. It's been looked after, but not super carefully. There's no major scratches over it, nothing. Everything functions as it should. The optics are still clear. And you know what? I'm really impressed. It is a good sturdy build on it. The night sight capability obviously is a massive plus on this. You know, I want to do some nighttime shooting. Now I don't actually do much shooting at night, but I certainly like to use it and scan around the local fields just to see what's going on. And the ability just to have your normal daytime rifle with the night sight, press of a button, is brilliant. And for those that want to do some rabbitting, obviously you don't need to switch your scopes out. So it is pretty good at that, and it does what it says on the tin. It's pretty good. And for those naysayers that say that the supplied IR illuminator on there isn't worth it, it's good enough for me up to 50, 60, 70 metres. Not too bad at all. And if need be, it's just Picatinny on the side. You can swap it out for something nice and cheap, 20, 30 quid. Not a problem at all. So all in all, I am pretty impressed with that. It has certainly lived up to all expectations in terms of robustness, the quality and everything there. Of course, one of the reasons I got it is that I wanted to record in video everything that I'm doing, be it vermin control or target shooting or anything like that, and it does that job pretty good as well. The file format on it's a little bit weird. You may have to do some conversion to look at it, and I have discussed in depth, and I'm not going to do it today, about whether it's the HD quality. You know, check the video reviews out up here. You know, I go into depth. Is this HD quality? What's it like on zoom? Yes, it pixelates and everything like that, but you know what? Most of the time you're looking at it on a monitor smaller than a full-size 42, 44 inch screen. It's good enough. It's certainly good enough to see what you're doing. If you do zoom in, it does get pixelated, but we know that. I've been through it all. But yes, I like it. That was the primary reason I brought this, for the actual videoing through the scope without having to put extra attachments on and line up a camera with this and then have to swap it all out for nighttime. Press a button, it records to the SD card, switch it into nighttime, it records. It works, it does the job, and I love it for that. And as a video reviewer and doing YouTube channels, it is perfect for that, and that is why I brought it. The ballistics calculator on here is cool, super cool, but it has a downside. But let's just stick with that at the moment. It's super cool. if you've got a chrono, you know how fast your pellets are going, how much they weigh, you put it all into this, you set your ballistics calculator up, you shoot at 20 yards, you zero it at 20 yards, bang, you hit the centre. You then move out to 40 yards, you plug 40 yards into the distance on this, and the crosshairs go where you need to aim, and it works. And the amount of times I've gone to ranges with this, and I've zeroed it up, and somebody says, well, what's it like at distance? And I just go, how far is it? They tell me how far it is, I type it in, I give the rifle to them and say, pop the crosshairs on the target, and then they shoot and the target goes down at 40, 50, 60, even out to 75 metres at 2.2, and it just falls down. Is amazing. It is pretty good, and it does the job on that. But there is a con to that, and I'll come on to that in a bit. What else is good about it? The looks. I think I've already talked about that. The looks, they look great. But I do like the other feature in here, and that's the profiles, that you can store different profiles, different zeros, different bullet characteristics on this. So I can take this off, I can drop it onto another rifle, select the profile for that rifle, quick re-zero, bang, it's working. It is truly one scope for all rifles, and of course it's not just air rifles. This is primarily designed for, dare I say it, real rifles with bullets, you know, powder burners, whatever you want to call them. It's designed for that, and it's robust enough to handle that sort of thing. You see people in America shooting with these on here, doing boar hunting and stuff like that, and it's very, very good at it. So you can take it from an air rifle up to that sort of caliber rifle, cartridge bullets on there, no problems at all. So it is very, very good for that. But there are some downsides. And the downsides, I know I've gone through a lot of them, and like I said, I'll put the links up here for you to see all of those videos you really want to go in depth. But number one is the battery life on these. You have to use an external battery. And so I've jerry-rigged my own external battery. Or you can use the AA batteries in here. Now a lot of people have had problems with these with AA batteries, and the problem is that this unit requires 1.5 volts minimum per AA battery, and if it can't get that, then what will happen is it will switch itself off. So you'll find that you try sticking normal rechargeables in here, it just won't work. So I'm going to leave a link down, in fact I'll put it down here so that you can click on it, and I'll also put it in the description because I found a really good video by somebody else on YouTube, and they talk about Kent Lee batteries. Now these batteries are expensive, you're talking $50 for 4 of them, but they will put out a consistent 1.5 volts for a long period of time and then shut off. If you use those batteries in this, which I haven't done yet, then you will get 7 hours out of it, which is pretty damn good, but you're paying for those rechargeable batteries. But like I said, I'll leave the link down the bottom. So that is definitely a downside, is the rechargeable batteries in here, unless you use an external tank like I've got here, an external battery. I literally just switch this on when I'm ready to go. I get 7, 8 and 9 hours, and I've got 2 of these, so it's not a problem. So just bear that in mind, just watch the marketing. That does also bring me on to marketing from ATN. There's no simple way of putting it, I don't like it. The ATN marketing is terrible, the customer service is terrible, and the way that they don't tell you what they're doing in the updates is terrible. Again, there's a video up here, I'll put up here, all about the latest woes that I had with it. For example, one update, they changed the minimum minimum distance you could put in to 25 meters. So you could not go under 25 meters, which basically meant it was now a useless piece of junk to anyone with an air rifle who wants to shoot under 25 meters, because you could not set the distance to it. So I had to back do the BIOS before that change, which now has made me never ever want to change this BIOS. So I'd recommend that if you have a BIOS that works with your scope and you're happy, leave it. Never ever update it unless you know 100% sure what that BIOS is going to do, and you're only going to work that out through forums and other people saying so, or video channels like mine. And that, like I said, is what I don't like about ATN. They're using software in this, but they're not acting like a software company. If a software company is going to go updates for electronics, they should tell you what's in the update before you apply it, so that you don't brick your device, which is effectively what you do with this if you're not careful. Because, you know, at the end of the day, what use is this to me on an air rifle if I can't use it under 25 meters? Not much use. So there is definitely a big thumbs down to ATN on that, and unfortunately you do get a lot of fanboys all defending them, etc, etc, but you know, the facts are facts at the end of the day. It is not good, and there's plenty of people saying so. So I'll park that one for now. I think the biggest problem with this rifle, and let's put it simple, it is a digital rifle, digital scope that you do not look through glass. You look through and look at an LCD on here. So if I don't switch this unit on, I can see nothing through that. And that's the problem, because to power this unit on takes a good 10 seconds. Then I have to set the range, which I've got to work out the range, and then go through the menu system to set the range. So let's say I've got a pigeon. I haven't got the unit switched on, because I've just got out the car, I haven't got the unit switched on, and I see a pigeon. Ah, great, first shot of the day. Switch the unit on, 10 seconds later, range find, doesn't take long at all. Right, I know it's 30 meters out, then I've got to go through the menu system, set it to 30 meters, put it up, oh, pigeon's gone. Yeah, it takes that long. It can take up to 25-30 seconds to do that procedure before you can take a shot with that. Now let's assume that you've actually got the unit switched on, and you're 0 to 20 meters, and your range in here is set to 20 meters. Okay, now you see a pigeon, and the pigeon's at 40 meters. Well, you've got to set the distance in here to 40 meters to get the unit to do what you want it to do. That takes time. And by the time you've done that and got it all set up, and the pigeon's gone. What this means is this is not what I would call a snap shooting rifle. Think of it the other way around. If you had a normal optical scope and you saw a pigeon and you knew that pigeon's out at 35 meters, you know in your head that you've got to put that 2mm dots up because of your 0 at 20, for example. You pick it up, you line up, you set 2mm dots over, and you fire. Job done. Not with this. What you've got to do is set your range, get it all sorted out, set the computer up, and hope the pigeon's still there before you fire. And that's assuming you've got the unit switched on. If you haven't, this is useless. Absolutely useless. It is about as good as putting a brick on top of your rifle if this has got no power, because you can't see through it. So it is a pure digital scope, and here lies the major problem with this. Now, this is more evident for an air rifle, because of an air rifle doesn't shoot as far. The pellet hasn't got so much velocity, therefore distance is critical to us. There is a big difference between a 10 meter shot and a 50 meter shot with an air rifle, especially if you're running at 12 foot-pounds as we do in the UK. You have to get those holdovers right, otherwise you're going to miss. Now imagine this on an AR-15. That bullet, that cartridge is coming out so much quicker that the trajectory of the bullet is much flatter. So if I'm zeroed at 100 meters with an AR-15 and this, and something pops up at 50 meters, I can pretty much just shoot where I want. The bullet trajectory is that flat it's going to hit. It's probably okay out to 150 meters as well. It's probably only going to drop a few, half an inch. But that is a massive difference over an air rifle. So the problem here is that even if you're sort of like with an air rifle going anywhere between 20 meters and 40 meters, you have to set this up right with the distance, otherwise you're going to miss. With an AR-15 or a normal bullet or rimfire, doesn't make really that much difference. So you can have this zeroed in the midpoint and you're going to hit it because of the bullet trajectory is so flat. I hope I've explained that. So what I wish they would do in this is give us a proper reticle in here. That is a nice big reticle with nice decent mil dots on it. So once the unit is switched on, I can treat it like an optical scope without all of the reticle moving dynamically all over the place. That would be really nice. Now I know I can switch to ballistics calculation off in here and try to use it like that, but the reticles are pants. And that brings me on to another real big wish. They're missing a big trick here, is that because this is digital, they have the ability to change the mil dots perfectly with the zoom, but they don't do that. Such a trick, ATN, you should do that. You know, those scopes cost a fortune where they have the actual mil dots on the first focal plane. So as you zoom, the mil dots move in the right direction and increase and decrease depending on your zoom, so you're always super accurate. That's so easy to do with this. It's digital. You should be able to do it. There's a little thought for you, ATN. Bring that into the next version. So, you know, that's my biggest concern with this, is that sometimes I do a bit of pest control locally, and sometimes it's snap shooting, and this rifle scope is not switched on 24/7. And then I see an opportunity, and it's like, get the rifle. Oh, I've got to switch it on. 20 seconds later, put it up. Oh, what's the distance? It's this. It's that. Oh, he's gone. That's the problem with this. If it's an AR-15, well, first off, you wouldn't be doing that sort of thing with it. But if it was, then the bullet trajectory is much flatter. I could set the 0 to a much bigger distance, knowing that I'd be alright. So for an air rifle, it's great if you are shooting at known distances, or what I call static shooting over a known set of distances with it. It's a rigmarole having to set it all up. Now you can get around this by buying the ATN digital rangefinder that automatically communicates it through to this. That's another 300 quid on top of the 750 quid price tag. You can go down that option if you want, you really can. I'm not doing that, it's too expensive to do. So yeah, that pretty much sums up. You know, I've gone through a lot more in depth with this. Like I said, I'll leave the links up here so that you can click all the other videos, but I really wanted to give you a heads up on my year's usage of the ATN, and I do like it. If I was out doing serious hunting around farmers' fields and stuff, which I don't do, then I probably would not use this for the reasons I've talked about. It is not a pick-up point in your head, work out mil dots, pull the trigger type of affair. It doesn't work like that. It really does need you to set it up properly. On air rifles, I will certainly say that. And again, that comes down to bullet to trajectory and how much a difference hold over and hold under makes to us on there. But anyway, don't let that put me off it on here. It is a good scope. It's got its problems, it's got its flaws, but overall, I'm happy I got it. If anything, for the videos it takes and the night sight capabilities on here, and for the pure fun it is that I can just go into there. You know, doing a bit of plinking in the backyard, I can set it to any distance I want, bang, 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 and it just works it out. It's pretty cool for that, pretty cool, but maybe not for everybody. Anyway, I hope you liked that quick mini update there. That's probably going to be the last one on the ATN series I'm going to do. I think I've done it to death. Yeah, this is just like I said, a year's ownership of it. As usual, don't forget to like, subscribe, share your thoughts down below, and if you're feeling generous, go on. Go down there, click on the donation link, or join my Patreon page, because every little penny helps, and we'll catch you next time on another video. Cheers and see you for now. Bye bye.